flight times in various cities from Anchorage, Alaska, demonstrating why it's one of the most busiest cargo hubs in the world. The furthest big American city is New York, and that's only about 7 hours away. Everywhere else, like Los Angeles and Honolulu, they can reach it in about 5 hours. Tokyo, Japan is just as far away as New York is. To get to Beijing, China, it's 7.5 hours. And then to places like the UK, Germany, or Moscow, Russia, it's about 9 hours each. Obviously, it's not the best location if you're trying to go to South America, Australia, or Africa, but these are some of the major places they really got to get to. We don't often think about this. We always think of flat maps as the way the world is. It is not the way the world is. The easternmost point of Brazil is actually closer to the continent of Africa than it is to the western side of Brazil. This is only like 3,000 kilometers to 4,000. This decimal is really throwing me off. I don't know if I'm saying that correctly though. This also reminds me that the northernmost point of Brazil is closer to Canada than it is the southernmost point of Brazil. So this country is freaking huge, if you couldn't tell. And look at me representing Brazil with my green and yellow hair. I look like a damn avocado. What the movie Home Alone is called in different places. I honestly have no idea why they would call it anything else but Home Alone. That seems like the perfect title. And throughout most of the continent, it is still just Home Alone, except for in France and Italy, it's called Mom, I Missed the Plane. Well, that's just lame. For some reason, in Germany and Poland, we have Kevin Home Alone. Could this be because there's already a movie in these places called Home Alone, so they have to kind of alter it a bit? Of course, there's a war in Switzerland, a war raging between these two movie titles. And then there's Hungary, just called Burglars Beware. It's not terrible, but it does sound like a terrible cable TV Disney movie. Also, Mom, I Missed the Plane is slowly starting to overtake Home Alone in Belgium. They'd already got Luxembourg. How the world is divided between McDonald's and Subway. There is literally a fast food Cold War raging right now, and half of you don't even know. In the deeper reds and greens, we have the monopolies of the world. In these countries in Africa, they only have Subway, but no McDonald's. Even in the no-no Afghan land, there's just a Subway. Doesn't that make... Wait, we've never lost a war against a country with the McDonald's. Oh my god. Did we just figure out what went wrong here recently? Weird how most of the Eastern blocks have both McDonald's and Subways. Some just have McDonald's. But then Russia has more Subways. They've really adopted this Subway life. Most of Europe is Mickey D territory, but they have lost the UK and Ireland. Did a McDonald's in Iceland? What the hell is up with that? How did McDonald's get into Cuba too during the whole embargo? Were they there beforehand? I don't know, I have a lot of questions. I didn't eat for 15 days and tracked data. You didn't eat for what? How do you just casually say that you didn't eat for 15 days? Now, I'm all about that fasting lifestyle, but not eating for 15 days is a little much, don't you think? How is this person even alive, actually? You could literally see the body difference. Anyone can make a change like this. All it takes is 2 weeks. Watch as his weight tanks during literally the first 4 days. It actually begins to plateau a bit. I'm thinking a lot of this is water weight, actually. And then as the fast ended, he dropped one more, and then you could tell, popped back up because he was probably eating a lot, but it didn't go back to the same levels. Testosterone was actually at a low, and then it ended up coming back before the fast ended. How is that possible? This person was apparently 31 years old, so by no means super young. I'm gonna have to try this. Discord versus Skype. Starting in 2015 to 2021, we're using Google Trends here. It seems like the first place that got overtaken was Indonesia in 2017. Then not even a year later, and a bunch more English-speaking countries adopted it. Basically old British territory, except for the UK themselves. They were slow to the gang. A lot of South American countries started catching on, except for Brazil, which is weird because their daddy, Portugal, got involved with it. By 2020, it had basically taken over, and by 2021, it is now dominating. A lot of African countries still using Skype, a couple outliers, but that's about it. Skype is pretty lame, but I still don't really understand Discord. I've had my account for years, and outside of just talking to your friends occasionally, I just don't get it. Right-handed traffic versus left-handed traffic. Obviously, if you are a former country that was colonized by the British, you probably are on the left hand, except for USA and Canada. There were some outliers. We got Jamaica, South Africa, Australia, New Zealand. Obviously, all of old British Raj. Not sure how Japan ended up adopting this, though. And then all of this was kind of British territory for a while, too. Has anyone ever checked what is the superior way to drive, though? Is there actually a difference? Is there one side that's safer than the other? You know, I don't even think I should do this one, but I am kind of curious. What? I don't know. This is some information that I never knew. I don't even know how this was logged or the scientific research put into this data. Oh man, I don't think I can. I do find it fascinating though. No joke. What the hell is going on in these countries? Jesus Christ. Percent of Indian households with toilets. 2014 versus 2017. Within this 3-year period, it just exploded. Exploded is a weird word to use in this situation, but look at this state back in the day. Only about 1 in 10 had a toilet, and 3 years later, it was approaching almost half. By now, 2021, it's probably even better. Then there's the states that went from like 37% or 44% to 100%. They literally gave a toilet to everybody out here. There's still a lot of work to be done here for some reason. Not sure why that is. 22 to 36. And there's this map, which was 1 year later. It looks like almost all the places are at least at 90%, if not 100. Again, there are a couple of outliers. There must be like an infrastructure problem with these specific places. They're having trouble here. It's nice to see they're finally getting their shit together. Spotify has extended its lead in the music streaming wars. Back in like 2015 through 2018, there was kind of a war raging. When Apple Music started up, I know they were freaking out. And I can see why, because for several of the following years, it was close. Apple Music obviously had a late start. Something big happened between 2018 and 2019. They kind of got it a little bit above, but it was really after 2019 was when they were turning it on, and Apple really hasn't made the same gains. Amazon Music has done okay. I like YouTube Music just because they have like everything, but they're like OS is terrible. I think I mean UI, but if YouTube Music had the same UI as Spotify, I would use YouTube Music, like unlimited songs on there. Which qualities should children be encouraged to learn? Imagination, hard work, or both? I don't know how the hell they got this data, but we're gonna look at it anyways. Sweden is the country that encourages hard work the least, and they are pretty up there on the imagination scale, whereas Zimbabwe is on the exact opposite. They ain't teaching any of that imagination crap. It's all about hard work, baby. Where's Germany at? I'm pretty sure Germany only pushes hard work too. Oh, there's Germany. Most countries in general are about hard work when you look at this line right here on average. They're below that. Interesting to see that Japan is also about imagination. That might be due to the anime. But then there's South Korea, far and above everyone. The respondents to this poll believed that both were most important, and they are destroying just about every other country. Here's the USA for reference. So New Zealand is pretty up there too. All US cities which used to have more than 100,000 people, but don't anymore. We're seeing a whole lot of the Rust Belt, but even a lot of East Coast places as well. Not surprising that they're cold. A lot of people want to go move in the sun. Florida, California, Texas. Look at the drop of Flint, Michigan. Over 100,000 people. I guess not having clean water will do that to you. Also, Ohio was hit pretty bad as well. Weird how these are the only states that drop more than 100,000. Nothing on the West Coast, nothing in the South, just this area specifically. What if US coastal cities swap places? So instead of San Diego being in California, it would be in South Carolina if it were to switch laterally. Los Angeles would actually be in North Carolina, and San Francisco would be in Virginia. Literally 3 different states. That's how big California is. Eureka, Oregon would be in New York, and look how high up. Seattle's above Maine. Doesn't even sound right, but yeah, again, flat maps are confusing. Then on the other side of things, we have Charleston, Atlanta. All of these major cities would be in one state. Boston is just in Oregon. Oh, this is really confusing. Portland, because Oregon also has a Portland. Jacksonville would be in Baja, California, Mexico. This really puts things into perspective. Price money distribution for Who Wants to Be a Millionaire. So there were 14 contestants that walked away with 0 money. That's a lot, considering some of those first questions are really easy. 94 got 500. Isn't that like the bare minimum? Don't you always get 500 even if you don't get to that, what's that? Lock-in, 1,000? So by far, most people are walking away with 32,000. 200 contestants got that much money. 70 people got 100,000, and then things get really weird. At $250,000, only 6 walked away, but at $500,000, 13 walked away. I'm assuming that's because a lot of people use their lifelines, or they decide to literally walk away, just walk away with the money. Who wants to walk away with $250,000 when you can walk away with $500,000? It must be just a mental thing like that. And then same thing, if you're gonna go for the million, why stop at 750,000? You're gonna go all out, especially if you made it this far too. You probably can figure it out, because if you get it wrong, what is it? Doesn't it bounce you back to 64,000 or something? Is that, yeah, something like that. 9 contestants won $1 million. It's almost about the same amount of people that walked away with 0. Everything owned by Nestle. Oh no, Switzerland. This is how they get all their evils out. Holy crap, this thing keeps going. Look at all this stuff. Obviously, if it has a little Nestle sign at the top, we know it was owned by Nestle. I didn't know they owned Pellegrino. cappuccino, and Nesquik. These are the baby bottled water and cereal. Then there's chocolate cookies and confections. What the hell's a confection? Oh no, not Kit Kat. Oh, Toll House. I love Toll House. They got all these coffee. Wait. Starbucks? Do they own Starbucks, or they have a lot of products in Starbucks? Starbucks coffee. California Pizza Kitchen. DiGiorno's. Holy crap, it just keeps going. Food services. Oh, no wonder they're so scary. No wonder they're going to Mars and getting that water up there. They could totally afford it. And pet care even. They're in everything. How to watch the MCU perfectly chronological. So technically you should be watching Captain America the First Avenger, because that was set in 1943. Then Captain Marvel took place in 95. Iron Man was in 2010? Wait. So Hulk was 2011. When the hell did they state that? It's been a long time since I've seen that movie. You're supposed to watch Iron Man 2, Iron Man 3, but that was before the events of, or after the events. I'm fucking up. Why'd they design it like this? So you watch Iron Man 1, Iron Man 2, then Hulk, then Thor, then Avengers. Then 2013, we got Dark Worlds, Winter Soldier, in 2014, Guardians of the Galaxy, and then, repeat viewings, Age of Ultron, Ant-Man, Civil War, Doctor Strange, Homecoming. See, then it gets pretty easy. I think this is like pretty straightforward, but this beginning is kind of interesting. Wait, did the Incredible Hulk really take place in 2011? Is that? I don't remember that. That's the only confusing part here. This story coaster to show you exactly how stories are supposed to be written. You don't have to read them like this though. Exposition, suspended disbelief, rising action, here's the climax, deep backstory, that's very important. A jarring twist, plot hole, watch those. They're not going to recover from that. Tunnel of badly written love. Yeah, unresolved subplot is how you have a very dangerous accident take place. And then the critical reaction is people out here saying how they felt. Some people died. Sometimes your movie could be so bad you die. Be careful of that. Unreliable narrator right here trying to destroy the whole thing. I don't really think I learned anything from this, but I remembered a lot of terms that I once knew. And big thanks to the September patrons: Max, Cooper, Majestic Unicorn, I Love Marks, Drewsasussybakachangemymind, Thick Girl, Braxton Girlfriend, Drew's Argentinian Grandpa, BringBackPolandball, AryanAfterHours, Alfonso M6, Barnsky W, Dalton D, Full Send Nic, LuxembourgLover, McBlorf, Mind Brothers 999X2,
Papi Druwu,
Patrick C,
Elijah Senpai,
and Stormtrooper 501. Thank you.